The largest schism in Islam, one that still drives geopolitics from Iraq to Yemen to Lebanon, didn't start as a theological disagreement. It started as a question no one had an answer to: who's in charge now? In 632 CE, the Prophet Muhammad died. He left no named successor, no constitution, no precedent, just a power vacuum in the desert, and that vacuum would fracture a civilization. To understand how this happened, we need to go back to the moment everything was up for grabs. Muhammad wasn't just a prophet. He was simultaneously a military commander, a judge, and a political leader. All four roles fused in one person. When he died, everyone agreed no one could succeed to prophecy. Muhammad was the seal of the prophets. But the other three roles, those needed a successor. The title they chose was caliph, meaning successor. But successor to what exactly? That ambiguity was baked in from the start, and it would prove fatal. Two candidates emerged immediately: Abu Bakr, Muhammad's father-in-law, one of the earliest converts, an elder statesman respected across the community. His claim rested on seniority, loyalty, and election by Muhammad's closest companions. Then Ali, Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law, married to his daughter Fatima, younger but connected by blood and marriage. His supporters believed the Prophet's family should lead. Both claims had coherent logic. Neither was obviously wrong. Abu Bakr won the election. Ali stepped aside, for now, but his supporters never forgot, and they never fully accepted the result. Abu Bakr's first crisis hit immediately. Arab tribes across the peninsula revolted. They'd pledged loyalty to Muhammad personally, not to an office, not to an institution. With Muhammad dead, they considered the deal over. This was the Rida, the apostasy wars. Abu Bakr crushed the rebellion militarily. Then he made a brilliant strategic pivot. All that military energy, all those fighters now under centralized command, he pointed them outward, toward the Persian Empire to the northeast, toward Byzantine territories to the northwest. In a single move, Abu Bakr transformed Islam from a regional Arabian movement into an expansionist force. Internal crisis became external conquest. Abu Bakr died after less than 2 years. Umar succeeded him. Ali was passed over a second time. Umar governed for a decade, effective, austere, respected. Then in 644, a Persian Christian assassinated him. Not an internal Muslim dispute, but it triggered another contested succession. Ali presented himself again. He lost again, this time to Uthman, a member of the Umayyad clan. Here's what made Uthman's election so inflammatory. The Umayyads had opposed Muhammad during his lifetime. They were late converts, establishment figures from Mecca who'd resisted the Prophet's message for years. Uthman himself was an exception, an early, sincere convert. But his elevation fell to Ali's supporters like the old guard recapturing power. 3 times now, Ali had been passed over. For 24 years, the system held together, barely. 3 caliphs, 2 contested elections, 1 civil rebellion. Then, in 656, it broke. Uthman had grown unpopular. His critics called him lethargic, luxurious, more monarch than servant of the community. He appointed relatives to key positions. Resentment built for years. Then, in 656, a group of disaffected Muslims marched on Medina and killed him. Pause on that. This was the first time a caliph was murdered by fellow Muslims, not by an outside enemy, by members of the faithful. A violent precedent was born, and it would never be undone. Ali finally became caliph, but the circumstances were poisoned. He was elevated by the same faction that had just assassinated Uthman. Did Ali know about the plot? Almost certainly not, but the taint was permanent. His enemies would use it against him for the rest of his life and for centuries after. Muawiyah, the Umayyad governor of Syria and Uthman's kinsman, refused to accept Ali's authority. He demanded justice for Uthman's murder. Ali couldn't deliver the killers without destroying his own base of support. Islam's first civil war erupted, the fitna, meaning strife or discord within the community. From 656 to 661, Muslim fought Muslim, and the conflict produced something even worse, a militant faction called the Kharijites, who rejected both Ali and Muawiyah as illegitimate. They believed only God could judge, and they were willing to kill to prove it. In 661, a Kharijite assassin struck Ali with a poisoned sword. Ali died. Muawiyah survived a separate assassination attempt. The pattern of political violence was now entrenched in the fabric of Islamic governance. With Ali dead, Muawiyah consolidated power and made a decision that changed everything. He moved the capital from Medina to Damascus. This wasn't just logistics, it was a transformation of what the caliphate meant. Medina was an Arabian desert town, the prophet's city, intimate, tribal. Damascus was a former Byzantine metropolis, cosmopolitan, multi-ethnic, imperial. In Medina, the caliph was first among equals, accessible, living modestly among companions who'd known Muhammad personally. In Damascus, the caliph became a monarch. Tents gave way to palaces. Tribal councils gave way to courtiers. Legitimacy shifted from proximity to the prophet's community to raw military power and dynastic succession. For Ali's followers, this was the point of no return. The caliphate had become something they didn't recognize. Now step back and look at the full arc. Right? In just 29 years, 632 to 661, watch the escalation. It starts with ambiguity. Muhammad dies with no succession plan. That ambiguity produces a political disagreement. Abu Bakr is elected, Ali is passed over. The disagreement triggers military suppression, the Ridda Wars, then external violence, Umar's assassination, then the critical threshold, internal violence, Uthman murdered by a fellow Muslim. That precedent unleashes civil war, Ali versus Muawiyah, and civil war produces permanent schism, Ali assassinated, the Umayyad dynasty established in Damascus. Each step raised the stakes, each crisis made the next one worse. The Sunni-Shia divide is not ancient theology frozen in amber. It's the living legacy of these specific political decisions. Sunnis trace legitimate authority through the elected caliphs, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and accept the historical sequence as it happened. Shia Muslims trace authority through Ali and his descendants, viewing the first three caliphs as usurpers who denied the Prophet's family their rightful place. When you see Sunni-Shiite tensions in Iraq, Syria, Yemen, or Lebanon today, you're seeing the downstream effects of a succession crisis from 632. Political structures matter. The absence of a clear succession mechanism didn't just create a one-time crisis, it created a recurring pattern of contested legitimacy that shaped 1400 years of history. The Umayyads ruled until 750, but Ali's followers never accepted their legitimacy. What happened next? The Abbasid revolution would reshape the Islamic world again.